Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to get all 19 smithing templates in both Minecraft Java Edition and Minecraft Bedrock Edition. So if you like Minecraft videos like this one, then please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Minecraft tutorials just like this one in the future. And so right behind me you see all of the different armor trim smithing templates along with the one upgrade smithing template. And so in this video we'll cover the locations you can find all of these 19 different smithing templates in Minecraft 1.21. But before we go into the locations of these armor trims, let's quickly show you how you can actually use them. So there's two types of smithing templates. The first of these is the Netherite Upgrade smithing template, which is this one right over here. And then there's 18 of these smithing template armor trims you can use to customize the look of your armor. So how does this work? Well, let's take a look in this chest. This is all of the stuff you need. So let's start off with that Netherite Upgrade smithing template. What you need is a Netherite Upgrade smithing template, a Netherite ingot, and any piece of diamond armor. And so then what you do is just get yourself a smithing table, which is crafted just like this with 4 planks and 2 iron on top. And then in here you put in the Netherite Upgrade smithing template, the piece of armor you want to upgrade to Netherite armor, and finally the Netherite ingot to upgrade that piece of armor into Netherite armor. This does take up both the Netherite ingot and also your smithing template, but you will get your hands on one of these pieces of Netherite armor. Now if you want to make more of these Netherite upgrades, you can do that as well. You can duplicate them just like this, using 7 diamonds in this pattern like this, the specific block in the middle, and then the template at the top, which means you will get 2 of those templates like this. So that means you can duplicate these smithing templates. Now the specific block I put there in the middle of that recipe is also shown over here. So that is this block, Netherite block right over here. And so the second feature is applying an armor trim. So for that we will take a look at the other side of this chest. So here we have one of those armor trim smithing templates, a diamond chest plate, and then you need to choose which type of trim you want to put on it. You can be an amethyst trim, copper, diamond, emerald, gold, iron, lapis lazuli, nether quartz, redstone dust, or even a netherite ingot. But let's say you want to put a red trim on this armor. Then what you do is just go again into the smithing table, put in your armor trim smithing templates, in this case the silence one, put in your piece of armor and put in your redstone dust, and we'll get a preview of what this will look like right over here. Again, this will use up the smithing template and the piece of redstone. So again, you can duplicate this armor trim smithing template as well. In this case by using cobbled deep slate. As you can see right here, cobbled deep slate along with 7 diamonds and your smithing template yields you 2 of those smithing templates. And so once you apply it, it looks something like this, and you can put it on and look amazing in your trimmed armor. So let's quickly take a look at what all of those armor trims actually look like. So first of all, this is the rib armor trim set. So this is Sentry, Vex, then Coast, Wild, Dune, Wayfinder, Razor, Shaper, Host, Ward, Silence, Tide, Snout, Eye, Spire, and the 2 new ones in 1.21, Flow and Bolt. So this is what all of the different armor trims look like, put on iron armor with lapis lazuli trims. But of course there is way more options you can try for yourself, all the different types of armor with all the different types of materials you can use for the armor trims. And so the blocks you need to duplicate these armor trims are Netherrack for the Netherite Upgrade, Netherrack for the rib armor trim, cobblestone for the Sentry, Vex and Coast armor trims, mossy cobblestone for Wild, sandstone for Dune, or if you play on Bedrock Edition, in which case you can also use smooth sandstone, cut sandstone or chiseled sandstone. Terracotta for Wayfinder, Razor, Shaper and Host, cobbled deep slate for Ward and Silence, prismarine for Tide, or if you play on Bedrock Edition, also dark prismarine or prismarine bricks. Snout would be blackstone, Eye would be endstone, Spire purple blocks, or if you play on Bedrock Edition, also purple pillars. Flow actually uses breeze rods, so an item instead of a block. And then finally Bolt uses any type of copper block or waxed copper block. But alright, that is these smithing template armor trims and also the Netherite Upgrade. Now let's actually tell you where you can get these 19 items in Minecraft for both Java Edition and Bedrock Edition. So first of all, the Netherite Upgrade smithing template can be found inside of the Bastion Remnant. And so this first template can be found inside of the Bridge chest, the Hoglin Stable chest or a generic chest in the Bastion Remnant. There you all have 10% chance of getting one of these Nether Upgrade smithing templates, and you will have a 100% chance of finding it inside of the treasure chest in the Bastion Remnant, which only occurs in one of the specific types of Bastion Remnant. But in chests like these, you just have a 10% chance of obtaining one of those Nether Upgrade smithing templates. But if you find one of these treasure bastions, there will always be a Netherite smithing template at the bottom of this room right over here. In this chest, you will always find a Netherite Upgrade smithing template right over here. So then let's move on to the Rip Armor Trim smithing template. And so the Rip Armor Trim can be found inside of the Nether Fortress structure. So there are these chests inside of the Nether Fortress, and there's only a 6.7% chance of you finding the Rip Armor Trim in one of these chests. So this may mean that you need to explore multiple Nether Fortresses before you actually find one of these Rip Armor Trim smithing templates. And you definitely want to duplicate it afterwards so you don't have to find another one in one of these structures. Alright, then moving on to the Sentry Armor Trim. So the Sentry Armor Trim can be found inside of the Pillager Outpost structure in this chest at the top of this Pillager Outpost. And so there is actually a 25% chance of this chest containing the Sentry Armor Trim smithing template. And there will actually be 2 of them in this chest. Next is the Vex Armor Trim. So this armor trim can actually be found inside of chests in the Woodland Mansion. And so you will have a 50% chance of finding a Vex Armor Trim smithing template in one of the chests inside of the Woodland Mansion. And there's one right here. Then from the Vex Armor Trim we move on to the Coast Armor Trim. This Coast Armor Trim can be found inside of Shipwrecks, and they can actually be found inside all 3 different chests in the Shipwreck, all with a 16.7% chance. So there's this treasure chest of the Shipwreck, there's a 16.7% chance of finding 2 of those Coast Armor Trims. In this supply chest there's also a 16.7% chance of finding 2 smithing template armor trims, and finally here in the map chest, there's also a 16.7% chance of finding 2 of these smithing template armor trims of the coast variety. Then we have the wild armor trim. This armor trim can be found inside of the jungle pyramid structure, which is this structure right over here. So for each chest in this structure, there's actually a 33.3% chance of finding the wild armor trim. So there's this chest over here, of course, and there's also the secret chest, which you can unlock by doing this. Going back up. And in here. And there we go. There's actually the wild armor trim here. So you will find 2 of these wild armor trims in a chest. Alright, moving on to the Dune armor trim. This one can be found inside of the desert pyramid structure, which of course has those 4 chests at the bottom. Make sure you don't activate the pressure plate with the TNT below. And each of these chests has a 14.3% chance of containing 2 of those Dune armor trims. In this case, we were not that lucky. Then next we have the armor trims for Wayfinder, Razor, Shaper and Host, because they're all found in the same structure. So these 4 can all be found inside of the Trail Ruin structure. What you need is you need to brush away the suspicious gravel in a Trail Ruin, and then you will have an 8.3% chance of finding one of these smithing template armor trims. And so for Wayfinder, Razor, Shaper and Host, all of them have an 8.3% chance of dropping from the suspicious gravel. Then we have both the Ward armor trim and the Silence armor trim, both in the same structure. So both of these can be found inside of the Ancient City structure, where the Ward armor trim has a 5% chance of generating in any of these chests. So that means you would need to search on average 20 of these chests before you actually find one of those Ward armor trims. So that already seems quite rare. However, the other armor trim, Silence, is even more rare because there is only a 1.2% chance of actually finding that armor trim inside one of these chests over here. So 2 very rare armor trims here in the Ancient City. You may not even find one of those Silence armor trims in one of these massive structures, because there's not that many chests and a 1% chance is very, very low. But you may stumble upon some enchanted golden apples. Then there is the Tide armor trim, which is special and different from all of the other armor trims. And so it is different because this Tide armor trim is the only armor trim currently that is actually dropped by a mob. Elder Guardians you find inside of these ocean monuments have a 20% chance to drop 1 Tide armor trim upon death. And you can't increase this by, for example, using looting. So if you kill the Elder Guardian here in the Ocean Monument, there's a 1 in 5 chance of obtaining the Tide armor trim. And there's one right there. Actually, there we go. Next up is the Snout armor trim. And so this Snout armor trim smithing template can also be found inside of the Bastion remnant structure, just like the Netherite Upgrade smithing template we saw at the start. So it can be found in bridge chests, treasure chests, Hogland stable chests and generic chests, all with a chance of 8.3%. So you have to find around 12 of these chests before you find a Snout armor trim smithing template. Then we have the Eye armor trim. For this smithing template, you will be able to find it inside of the stronghold structure, both in these altar chests, but with only a 10% chance, but also in the library chests. Which is definitely the best way to find this smithing template, because there's a 100% chance of finding an Eye armor trim inside of the library chests. You can see one right there and one right there. Next would be the Spire smithing template armor trim. And so the Spire armor trim smithing template can be found inside of the End City chests. So for each of these chests, there is a 6.7% chance of having one of those Spire armor trim smithing templates. And then finally, we have both the Flow and Bolt armor trims. And so both of these final two can be found inside of the new Trial Chambers structure. So for the Bolt armor trim smithing template, you can find it in either a Vault or a regular reward chest. And there's a 6.3% chance of actually obtaining the Bolt armor trim smithing template. Here we actually got the music disc, which is also quite lucky. But if you want to know how to get trial keys that unlock these vaults over here, I've made a video on it. Link is in the top right of your screen. And so for the other armor trim, so the Flow armor trim smithing template, what you need is to open these ominous vaults. So you need to start ominous events, and then you have a chance of obtaining this Flow armor trim right here. That was actually really lucky, because there is a 22.5% chance of finding one of these Flow armor trim smithing templates in the ominous vaults. And so there we go. That's how to obtain all 19 smithing templates in Minecraft Java Edition and Minecraft Bedrock Edition 1.21. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please subscribe!